In the quiet recesses of your soul, where the noise of the world fades into silence, there lies a longing, a deep and ancient call toward peace, toward stillness, toward something beyond the fleeting. You have felt it in moments when the weight of existence becomes unbearable, and the empty promises of the world reveal themselves for what they are. This longing is not a weakness. It is the whisper of truth calling you home. Peace is not something to be found outside of yourself, nor is it something to be attained as one attains wealth, status, or recognition. It is not a destination but a return, a remembrance of something that was never truly lost. The world will tell you otherwise. It will tell you that peace is found in achievement, in relationships, in control over circumstances. But true peace is beyond all of this. It is the still center that remains unshaken no matter the storm. To find this peace, you must first be willing to let go of the illusions that bind you. You must learn to see clearly. The world operates on desires for pleasure, for approval, for certainty. But these desires, no matter how they dress themselves, are chains. They keep you running endlessly, searching for something that cannot be grasped, something that dissolves the moment you think you hold it. Look deeply, and you will see that what you have been chasing is only a shadow of what your soul truly seeks. When you stop running, when you allow yourself to stand in the vast space of the unknown, something miraculous happens. You begin to see that the peace you seek has always been with you. It was simply buried beneath layers of fears, expectations, and distractions. The journey to peace is not about adding something to yourself but about stripping away what is false, about unlearning all that is untrue. Silence is your greatest ally in this journey. The world fears silence because it exposes what lies hidden. But you, who are seeking truth, must learn to embrace it. Spend time alone. Withdraw from the noise, from the constant stream of information and entertainment. Sit with yourself, even when discomfort arises. Especially when discomfort arises. Let the silence reveal what has been buried. Let it teach you. There will be moments when the weight of your past, your mistakes, and your regrets press heavily upon you. Do not run from them. See them clearly, but do not identify with them. You are not your past. You are not your failures. You are something far greater, something vast and infinite. Let go of guilt, for it serves no purpose except to keep you bound. Learn from your past, but do not dwell in it. Forgiveness is the path to freedom. Forgive others, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. And most importantly, forgive yourself. The harshest chains are the ones we place upon ourselves. Release them. You are not meant to live in suffering. Understand this. Suffering comes not from what happens to you but from your resistance to what is. Peace arises when you surrender, not in the sense of giving up, but in the sense of allowing life to be as it is, without clinging or aversion. Accept what comes, let go of what goes. Flow with life rather than against it. In this surrender, there is immense power. Your mind will try to convince you that peace is impossible, that you must always be in control. But the mind is a restless thing, always seeking, always fearing. Learn to observe your thoughts rather than be consumed by them. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind them, the vast sky in which thoughts arise and pass like clouds. Rest in this awareness. Be mindful of the company you keep. Surround yourself with those who uplift your spirit, who walk the path of truth. Avoid those who thrive on drama, negativity, and superficial pursuits. Solitude is better than companionship that leads you away from yourself. And yet, when you are among others, be fully present. Listen deeply. Love without attachment. Give without expectation. Do not seek external validation. The opinions of others are fickle, ever-changing, and largely irrelevant to your journey. Do what is right, not what is popular. Speak truth, even when it is uncomfortable. Live with integrity, even when no one is watching. The quiet life, the hidden life, is not one of insignificance but of great power. It is in stillness, in humility, that the soul finds its greatest strength. Patience will be required of you. The path to inner peace is not an overnight transformation. There will be days when you feel lost, when doubt creeps in, when old patterns resurface. Do not be discouraged. Growth is not linear. Every moment of awareness, no matter how small, is a step forward. Keep going. Nature is a great teacher. Spend time in the presence of trees, rivers, mountains. Watch how they exist without resistance, how they simply are. Let their wisdom seep into you. Breathe deeply. Feel the rhythm of life pulsing through you. You are not separate from it. You are part of the great unfolding, a thread in the vast tapestry of existence. Gratitude is a doorway to peace. Even in difficulty, find something to be grateful for. The simplest things, a breath, a sunrise, a moment of quiet, hold immense beauty when seen with open eyes. Do not take life for granted. Each moment is a gift, even the painful ones, for they shape you, refine you, bring you closer to truth. Let go of the need for answers. The mind seeks certainty, but the soul thrives in mystery. Accept that there are things beyond understanding, things that can only be felt, known in a way that words cannot describe. Trust the process. Trust life. You have already begun the journey inward, seeking the peace that cannot be given by the world but only discovered within. This path is not for the faint of heart. It requires courage, the courage to face yourself, to embrace the silence, and to let go of all that is false. But take heart, for every step you take toward truth brings you closer to the unshakable stillness that has always been waiting for you. There will be moments of deep clarity, where everything makes sense, where peace floods your being, and you feel the presence of something vast and eternal. Hold on to these moments, but do not grasp at them. Peace is not something to possess, it is something to surrender to. It flows like water, and when you try to hold it too tightly, it slips through your fingers. Instead, let it move through you. Trust that it is always there, even when you cannot feel it. Doubt will visit you. The mind, conditioned by years of restlessness, will resist stillness. It will whisper, "This is pointless," or, "You are wasting time." Do not listen. These are only remnants of an old way of being. Let them pass, like leaves floating down a river. Do not engage with them. Simply return to the present moment, again and again. Do not expect perfection. There is no final state where you will be beyond struggle, beyond moments of weakness. Even the wise feel sorrow, even the enlightened face trials. But the difference is in how they meet these moments, not with resistance, but with acceptance. Not with fear, but with understanding. Suffering arises when you believe that things should be different from how they are. But reality is neither for you nor against you. It simply is. And when you learn to align yourself with what is, rather than fighting against it, you will discover a peace that cannot be disturbed. Let go of attachment. This does not mean you should not love, should not care. But understand that all things are transient. People come and go. Circumstances change. Even your own body is not permanent. If you tie your happiness to what is impermanent, suffering is inevitable. Love fully, but without grasping. Engage with life completely, but without clinging. Do not fear solitude. The world tells you that to be alone is to be lacking, but this is not true. Some of the greatest transformations happen in solitude. It is in quiet moments that you truly come to know yourself. Learn to be at peace in your own company. When you do, you will never feel lonely again, even when alone. Beware of distractions. The world is full of them, constant entertainment, endless opinions, the pressure to always be doing. But the more you fill yourself with noise, the further you drift from your own center. Take time to unplug. Walk without your phone. Sit without music. Let your mind settle into silence. Do not compare your journey to others. Each soul has its own path, its own lessons. Some move quickly, others slowly. It does not matter. The depth of your peace is not measured by outward achievements or spiritual appearances. Stay true to your own unfolding. Honor your pace. Let go of the need for recognition. True peace is quiet. It does not seek applause. The most profound transformations happen unseen. Live not for validation, but for the quiet knowing in your heart that you are aligned with truth. The hidden life, the simple life, is often the richest. Humility is a great teacher. When you believe you have nothing more to learn, you stop growing. Always remain open. The wise are not those who claim to know everything, but those who understand how little they truly know. Approach life with reverence, with a willingness to be taught by everything around you. Do not be afraid of pain. It is a messenger, not an enemy. It shows you where you are still attached, where you are still resisting life. Instead of running from it, sit with it. Ask, what are you here to teach me? Often, in facing pain with openness, you will find it begins to dissolve. Practice stillness. Even a few moments of conscious stillness each day can change everything. Sit quietly. Breathe. Feel the life moving through you. Let everything be as it is. No need to fix, no need to change. Simply be. In these moments, you touch something eternal. Kindness is a doorway to peace. When you act with love, not because of obligation but because it is your nature, your heart expands. Give without seeking anything in return. Help others not for praise, but because it is a reflection of the peace you are cultivating within. Remember, peace is not the absence of difficulty but the presence of inner stillness despite it. Life will always bring challenges. But if you remain anchored in truth, nothing can truly shake you. Simplicity is a great gift. The more complicated your life becomes, the harder it is to hear the quiet voice of your soul. Do not chase after more and more. Learn to be content with little. See the beauty in the ordinary. Drink deeply from the present moment. Let go of the illusion of control. You cannot control what others do. You cannot control the unfolding of events. The only thing within your power is how you respond. And when you respond with acceptance, with wisdom, with love, you create peace, not only within yourself but in the world around you. Gratitude is a powerful force. Even in hardship, there is something to be grateful for. The breath in your lungs, the warmth of the sun, the lessons life is teaching you. Focus on what is here, rather than what is missing. In doing so, you transform your entire experience of life. Seek depth, not breadth. The world values knowing a little about everything, but true wisdom comes from going deep. Whether in your practice, your relationships, or your understanding of yourself, choose depth. It is in depth that transformation happens. Do not fear change. Everything in life is movement, is flow. If you try to hold on to what was, you suffer. Trust that whatever is meant for you will stay, and what is no longer meant for you will go. Let life move through you freely. Above all, trust. Trust that you are exactly where you need to be. Trust that life is unfolding as it should. Trust that even when you do not see the path, it is still there beneath your feet. You are not alone. Even in your solitude, even in your struggles, there is something holding you, guiding you, loving you beyond measure. Call it life, call it the universe, call it the divine. Whatever name you give it, know that it is with you. You are already whole. You do not need to become anything. You only need to remember. Strip away all that is false, and what remains is truth. What remains is peace. What remains is love. Walk forward with quiet confidence. There is no rush. There is no finish line. There is only this moment, and the next, and the next. And in each, you have the choice, to resist, or to surrender, to fear, or to trust, to close, or to open. Choose openness, choose trust, choose love, and in doing so, you will find that peace has never been far. It has been within you all along. The journey toward inner peace is not a straight path, nor is it one that can be completed in a single lifetime. It is a continual unfolding, a deepening of understanding, a refining of the soul through silence, surrender, and love. You may feel that you are making progress, only to encounter moments of doubt, moments where old fears resurface, where the noise of the world becomes overwhelming again. Do not despair. This is the nature of growth. The path is not about never stumbling, it is about always returning. Return to silence, return to the breath, return to the present moment, again and again, as often as needed. There is no failure in this. Each time you bring yourself back, you strengthen the foundation of your inner peace. Do not seek perfection, seek presence. One of the greatest illusions the mind clings to is the idea that peace can be found somewhere other than where you are right now. It tells you that once you fix your circumstances, once you remove all obstacles, once you become someone different, then you will finally be at peace. But peace is not found in a future state, it is only ever found here, in this breath, in this moment. No matter what is happening around you, peace is available to you now. Understand this deeply, the conditions of the world will never be perfect. There will always be some difficulty, some imperfection, some challenge. If you tie your peace to the external, you will always be at the mercy of forces beyond your control. But if you learn to cultivate peace within, it will remain unshaken, even in the midst of chaos. You do not need to escape life to find peace. You do not need to retreat to the mountains, abandon your responsibilities, or isolate yourself from the world. True peace is not found in running away but in meeting life fully, with an open heart and an unshaken spirit. It is about being in the world, but not of it. Engaged, yet unattached. Present, yet free. See the nature of all things clearly. Everything arises, everything passes. Thoughts come and go. Emotions rise and fall. Relationships change. Even the body ages and dissolves. Nothing is permanent. When you resist this truth, you suffer. When you accept it, you are free. This does not mean you should not love. Love deeply, but with wisdom. Love without clinging. Love with the understanding that everything is a gift, borrowed for a time, and that nothing is truly ours to keep. In this way, love becomes a source of joy rather than suffering. There is great power in simplicity. The more you complicate your life, the more restless your mind becomes. Simplify your surroundings, your commitments, your desires. Do not accumulate more than you need. Let go of unnecessary distractions. Learn to find fulfillment in little things, a quiet morning, a kind word, the rhythm of your breath. When you stop seeking more, you begin to see that you already have everything you need. Do not let the opinions of others disturb your peace. People will always have something to say. They will misunderstand you, project their own fears onto you, judge you based on their limited perception. But none of this has anything to do with you. Live according to truth, not according to the expectations of others. Those who truly see you will understand. Those who do not were never meant to. Let go of the need for certainty. The mind craves control, but life is unpredictable. There will be moments when the path is clear and moments when everything is uncertain. This is natural. Instead of fighting against the unknown, learn to trust it. Walk forward even when you cannot see the whole path. You do not need to have all the answers. You only need to take the next step, and then the next. Trust the timing of your life. Everything unfolds when it is meant to. The lessons you need will come at the right time. The people you are meant to meet will arrive when they should. The growth you seek will happen at its own pace. Do not force. Do not rush. Allow life to move through you naturally. Patience is a form of wisdom. The world moves fast, pushing you to chase, to achieve, to keep up. But the soul does not operate on the timeline of the world. Growth happens in stillness, in deep time, in moments of quiet realization. Be patient with yourself. Do not compare your journey to another's. Every soul blooms in its own season. Kindness is a reflection of inner peace. When you are at peace within yourself, it naturally extends outward. Be gentle with others. Speak with love. Do not add to the suffering of the world through harshness or judgment. Everyone you meet is carrying a burden you cannot see. Be a source of light. But also be kind to yourself. The way you speak to yourself matters. Do not let the voice of self-criticism be louder than the voice of self-love. You are not your mistakes. You are not your past. You are not the doubts that pass through your mind. You are something far greater, something vast and luminous. Treat yourself with the same compassion you would offer to a dear friend. Practice gratitude. The mind naturally focuses on what is lacking, on what is wrong, on what needs to be fixed. But peace is found in recognizing what is already here. Each day, take a moment to reflect on what you are grateful for. Even in difficulty, there is something, a lesson, a moment of beauty, a small kindness. Gratitude shifts your perception. It opens the heart. It makes peace more accessible. Let go of the past. You cannot change it. Carrying it only weighs you down. Forgive those who have hurt you, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve to be free. Forgive yourself for the moments you fell short, for the times you acted out of fear rather than love. Learn from the past, but do not live in it. Let go of the future. Plan wisely, but do not become attached to outcomes. No matter how much you plan, life will unfold as it is meant to. Clinging to a fixed idea of how things should be only creates suffering. Instead, be open, be adaptable, meet each moment as it comes, with trust. And above all, let go of the illusion that you are separate. You are not alone. You never have been. Beneath all the roles, all the identities, all the distractions, there is something unchanging, something eternal. Call it the divine, call it life itself, whatever name you give it, it is the source of all peace. When you rest in this, you will find that the search has ended. Because the peace you have been seeking has never been far. It has always been within you, waiting to be remembered. Walk gently, live with intention, love without fear, and in doing so, you will not only find peace for yourself, but you will become a source of peace for the world. The journey of inner peace is not about reaching a final destination. It is a way of being, a way of moving through life with clarity, wisdom, and an open heart. It is about remembering what has always been true, That you are already whole, already enough, already deeply connected to something greater than yourself. Yet, the world will try to make you forget. It will pull at you, filling your mind with distractions, your heart with doubts, and your days with noise. This is why the practice of returning, again and again, is essential. Returning to silence, to stillness, to the deep knowing within you. It does not matter how many times you forget. What matters is that you always come back. The power of presence. Many people spend their lives either dwelling on the past or anxiously anticipating the future. But neither of these places are real. The past is only a memory, a collection of thoughts arising in the present. The future is only an imagined projection, a story the mind tells itself. True peace can only be found in the present moment. This moment, right now, is all there ever is. If you can learn to be fully here, without regret for what has been or fear of what will come, you will discover a stillness that nothing can shake. But presence is not something that happens automatically. It must be cultivated. Begin by bringing your full attention to simple things. The feeling of your breath as it moves in and out. The warmth of sunlight on your skin. The sound of the wind moving through the trees. These small moments, noticed fully, become gateways to peace. Train yourself to return to the present whenever you feel overwhelmed. Ask yourself, where am I right now? What is actually happening, beyond the stories in my mind? More often than not, you will realize that in this moment, there is no real problem, only the mind creating one. Detachment and freedom. One of the greatest obstacles to peace is attachment. Attachment to things, to people, to outcomes, to identities. The mind clings, believing that if it just holds on tightly enough, it can prevent suffering. But in reality, attachment is the very cause of suffering. Letting go does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop clinging. You love, but without trying to possess. You engage with life fully, but without demanding that it be a certain way. You learn to trust the flow of existence. Everything in life is impermanent. Relationships change. Circumstances shift. Even the body you inhabit will one day return to dust. If you fight against this truth, you will suffer. But if you embrace it, if you surrender to the ever-changing nature of existence, you will find a peace that nothing can take away. Facing fear with courage. Fear is a natural part of being human. But most fears are illusions, created by the mind. They are thoughts about things that have not happened, and may never happen. When fear arises, do not push it away. Do not run from it. Instead, face it with openness. Ask yourself, what am I truly afraid of? Is this fear real, or is it just a story my mind is telling me? Most of the time, you will find that fear dissolves when you meet it with awareness. The more you face your fears, the less power they have over you. The more you step into the unknown with trust, the freer you become. True peace is not the absence of fear, but the ability to move forward despite it. The strength of softness. Many people mistake strength for hardness. They believe that to be strong, they must be rigid, defensive, closed off. But true strength is found in softness, in openness, in the ability to remain gentle even in a harsh world. A tree that does not bend with the wind will break. A river does not fight against the rocks in its path, it flows around them. In the same way, your peace will grow when you learn to move with life rather than against it. Choose softness. Choose kindness. Not as a weakness, but as a strength. It takes great courage to remain open in a world that often teaches you to close. But in that openness, you will find true freedom. The illusion of control. Much of human suffering comes from the illusion of control, the belief that if you just try hard enough, you can make everything go exactly as you want. But life does not work this way. No matter how much you plan, no matter how much effort you exert, there will always be things beyond your control. The only thing you truly have control over is yourself, your thoughts, your actions, your responses. When you stop trying to control the uncontrollable, you free yourself from endless frustration. You begin to move through life with ease, flowing with its currents rather than resisting them. Practice surrender, not as a form of giving up, but as a form of deep trust. Trust that life is unfolding as it should. Trust that even the challenges you face are shaping you in ways you may not yet understand. Finding joy in simplicity. The modern world is obsessed with more. More success, more possessions, more achievements. But true contentment is not found in accumulation. It is found in simplicity. Learn to appreciate what is already here. A quiet morning, a deep breath, a genuine smile. When you slow down, When you stop seeking fulfillment outside of yourself, you will discover that joy is already present in the smallest of things. Let go of the idea that happiness is something you must chase. Instead, recognize that it is something you allow. It is not in the next achievement, the next relationship, the next milestone. It is in this moment, if you are willing to see it. Love without attachment. Love is one of the most beautiful and powerful forces in existence. But love, when mixed with attachment, can become a source of suffering. To love truly is to love freely. Not with expectation, not with control, but with full presence and deep appreciation. When you love someone, do not try to possess them. Do not make them the source of your happiness. Instead, love them as they are, and allow them to be free. The greatest love is not found in grasping, but in letting go. When you love without attachment, without fear, love becomes a source of joy rather than anxiety. It becomes expansive, limitless. Walking the path with grace. This path you are on is not always easy. There will be days when you feel lost, when the weight of the world feels heavy, when doubts creep in. But remember, every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. You do not have to be perfect. You do not have to have all the answers. You only need to keep walking, to keep choosing peace, to keep opening your heart even when it feels difficult. Be patient with yourself. Growth takes time. Healing takes time. Do not rush the process. Trust that everything is unfolding as it should. Becoming a light for others. When you find peace within yourself, it naturally radiates outward. You do not have to force it. Your presence alone becomes a source of calm for others. In a world that is often chaotic, your inner stillness is a gift. In a world filled with judgment, your kindness is a gift. In a world of fear, your love is a gift. Do not underestimate the power of your presence. Even the smallest act of peace, the smallest moment of genuine compassion, can ripple out in ways you may never see. The journey continues. There is no end to this journey. It is a lifelong practice, a daily return to what is true. But each moment you choose peace, each moment you let go of fear, each moment you embrace life as it is, you are already home. You are not separate from peace. You are not separate from love. You are not separate from the divine. Everything you seek is already within you. All you need to do is remember. The path of inner peace is infinite, ever unfolding, and deeply personal. No two souls walk it in the same way, yet all who seek it find themselves drawn to the same eternal truths: silence, surrender, simplicity, and love. You may have moments of great clarity, where everything feels aligned, where peace flows effortlessly through you. And then, without warning, the noise of the world returns, the mind fills with doubts, and the weight of existence feels heavy once more. Do not be discouraged. This is part of the journey. Peace is not something you achieve once and keep forever. It is something you must return to, again and again, like a river returning to the ocean. The art of returning. There will be days when you forget. Days when fear overtakes trust, when impatience replaces stillness, when the ego speaks louder than the soul. These days are not failures. They are invitations. Invitations to pause, to breathe, to return to yourself. Every moment is a doorway back to peace. The sound of your breath, the touch of the wind on your skin, the warmth of the sun, these simple things are always here, waiting to bring you home. You do not need elaborate rituals to reconnect. Sometimes, all it takes is a deep breath. A single breath, fully felt, fully present, can remind you of everything you have forgotten. When you find yourself lost in thought, ask gently, where am I right now? Not in the past, not in the future, just here. Feel your body, listen to the silence beneath the noise. In return, the illusion of seeking. Many people spend their lives searching for peace, believing it to be something distant, something they must struggle to attain. They travel to sacred places, seek out wise teachers, read endless books, hoping that somewhere, in some hidden place, the secret to peace will be revealed. But peace is not something you find. It is something you remember. It has never been outside of you. It has never been in a distant future. It has always been here, within you, waiting to be noticed. The mind complicates what is simple. It tells you that you must do more, become more, achieve more before you can be at peace. But the truth is the opposite. The less you seek, the more you realize you already have everything. You do not need to escape your life to find peace. You only need to bring awareness to it. To slow down, to notice, to fully inhabit each moment. Embracing what is, Suffering arises when we resist what is. The mind constantly argues with reality, wishing things were different, wishing life would bend to its desires. But life is not meant to obey the mind. It moves according to its own rhythm, unfolding as it should. Peace comes when you stop fighting reality and begin embracing it. This does not mean passive resignation, it means deep acceptance. It means recognizing that each moment, whether joyful or painful, is exactly as it needs to be. Even your struggles are part of the path. Even your mistakes, your wounds, your darkest nights, they are shaping you, refining you, teaching you something essential. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this teaching me?" Instead of resisting, open yourself. Trust that even the difficulties have purpose. The wisdom of letting go. Much of human suffering comes from holding on too tightly, to expectations, to identities, to control. The mind clings, believing that safety lies in grasping. But true safety, true freedom, is found in letting go. Let go of the need to control every outcome. Life will unfold as it is meant to, whether or not you struggle against it. Trust the flow. Let go of the need for approval. The opinions of others are fleeting, shaped by their own fears and perceptions. Live according to your truth, not according to the shifting judgments of the world. Let go of the past. You cannot change it, and carrying it only weighs you down. Learn from it, but do not live in it. Let go of the future. Plan wisely, but do not become attached to specific outcomes. No matter how much you try to control the future, it will always surprise you. Meet it with openness, not resistance. Let go of the idea that you must be perfect. Growth is messy. Healing is nonlinear. You will have days of clarity and days of confusion. This is natural. Be patient with yourself. The power of stillness. In a world that glorifies busyness, stillness is an act of rebellion. Everywhere, people are rushing, chasing, striving, rarely pausing to simply be. But true peace is not found in movement, it is found in stillness. Make time for silence. Not just the absence of noise, but true inner silence, the kind that arises when you stop filling every moment with distractions. Sit quietly. Observe your thoughts without attaching to them. Listen to the space between sounds. Feel the aliveness in your body. In stillness, you reconnect with something deeper than the mind. You touch the part of you that is unchanging, eternal. And in that space, you remember who you truly are. The simplicity of peace. The mind seeks complexity, believing that deeper truths must be hidden in something grand, something difficult to grasp. But peace is profoundly simple. It is in the breath, in the quiet, in the act of letting go. You do not need more to be at peace. You need less. Less striving, less resistance, less attachment. Happiness is not found in getting everything you want. It is found in realizing that you already have enough. Living is a source of peace. When you cultivate peace within, it does not stay contained. It radiates outward, touching everyone you encounter. Your presence alone can be healing. You do not need to preach. You do not need to convince anyone of anything. Simply be. Be a quiet refuge in a chaotic world. Be a presence of kindness, of stillness, of wisdom. The world does not need more noise. It needs more souls who have found their center. More people who live with love rather than fear. More hearts that remain open, even in the face of adversity. You have the power to be such a person. Not by changing who you are, but by returning to who you have always been. The journey continues. Even after all these words, the truth remains simple. Peace is here, now. Not in the next moment, not in the next achievement, but in this breath. If you ever feel lost, if the world feels heavy, if the mind is clouded with doubts, pause. Breathe. Return. The answers you seek are not far. They are not outside of you. They have always been within. You are not separate from peace. You are peace itself, waiting to be realized. The path of inner peace is endless, like the vast sky stretching beyond what the eye can see. It is not a place you arrive at once and for all, but a way of being, a way of seeing, a way of meeting life with open hands rather than clenched fists. Each moment is an invitation to return, to soften, to surrender to the truth that everything you have been seeking is already here. And yet, the mind resists. It clings to distractions, to illusions, to fears that whisper, "You are not enough yet. You must do more, be more, have more." The mind makes noise, but the heart knows better. Beneath all the stories, beneath the endless seeking, There is a quiet place within you that has never been disturbed, never been lost, never been lacking. Learning to trust life. So much suffering arises from mistrust, from the deep-seated belief that life is something to be struggled against, something to be controlled. But life is not your enemy, nor is it something that must be conquered. Life is a river, always moving, always flowing, always carrying you where you need to go. When you trust the river, you stop grasping at the banks. You stop resisting its currents. You begin to float, to surrender, to let it take you where you are meant to be. Trusting life does not mean you will always understand it. There will be times when the path ahead is unclear, when the world seems to shift beneath your feet. But even in uncertainty, even in difficulty, trust that something greater is at work. The lessons you need will come when you are ready. The right doors will open when the time is right. You do not need to have all the answers. You only need to take the next step, and then the next. The beauty of uncertainty. The mind craves certainty. It wants guarantees, solid ground, a map that shows every turn ahead. But life does not work this way. It is fluid, ever-changing, unpredictable. And this is its beauty. If everything were known, if every outcome were fixed, there would be no space for growth, for discovery, for wonder. The unknown is not something to fear, it is something to embrace. It is the space where miracles happen, where transformation unfolds, where life reveals its hidden gifts. Instead of fearing uncertainty, learn to dance with it. Meet it with curiosity rather than anxiety. Ask, what new possibilities might this bring? What lessons might be hidden here? When you stop clinging to control, when you relax into the flow of life, you will find that what comes is often better than what you imagined. The universe is always guiding you, even when you cannot see the path. Letting go of the need to be understood. Not everyone will understand you. Not everyone will see the depth of your journey, the quiet transformations happening within you. And that is okay. The search for validation, for approval, is another form of attachment. The mind wants reassurance. Am I on the right path? Am I doing this correctly? But the truth is, no one outside of you can confirm that. The path of peace is deeply personal. It is not meant to be explained, it is meant to be lived. There may be moments when you feel alone in your journey, when the world seems too loud, too fast, too disconnected from what you are seeking. But know this, there are others like you. Silent seekers, hidden souls, walking their own paths with quiet grace. You are never truly alone. Do not let the misunderstanding of others shake your peace. Some will judge because they do not yet see. Some will dismiss because they are afraid of their own depths. Let them be. Walk your path anyway. The strength of softness. There is great power in gentleness. The world often teaches that strength means being unbreakable, unyielding. But true strength is found in flexibility, in the ability to remain soft even in the face of hardness. A blade of grass bends in the wind, but it does not break. A river carves through mountains not with force, but with persistence. In the same way, your peace is not found in resistance, but in your ability to move with life rather than against it. Softness is not weakness. It takes great courage to remain kind in an unkind world, to remain open when life has given you reasons to close. To choose love instead of fear. Practice this strength. Speak gently. Listen deeply. Be a quiet presence of peace wherever you go. The practice of non-attachment. One of the greatest obstacles to inner peace is attachment. Attachment to things, to people, to ideas of how life should be. The more tightly you hold on, the more suffering you create. But non-attachment does not mean you stop caring. It means you love fully, without trying to possess. You engage with life deeply, without clinging to outcomes. You appreciate everything, but need nothing to be whole. Imagine holding a handful of sand. If you grasp it tightly, trying to keep it, it slips through your fingers. But if you hold it with open hands, it remains. Life is the same way. Let things come and go. Let people walk their paths, just as you walk yours. Let experiences flow through you, without trying to trap them. When you stop resisting change, you become truly free. The healing power of stillness. In stillness, everything becomes clear. When the mind is busy, when the world is loud, it is easy to lose yourself in the noise. But when you become still, you reconnect with something deeper than thought. Make time for silence. Not just outer silence, but inner silence, the kind that arises when you stop filling every moment with distractions. Sit with yourself. Listen. Observe. Feel the rhythm of your breath, the beating of your heart. These are reminders that you are alive, that you are connected to something vast and eternal. In stillness, you do not need to do anything. You do not need to fix anything. You only need to be. And in that being, you will find that peace has been here all along. Becoming a light for others. When you cultivate peace within, you naturally share it with the world. You do not need to force it. Your presence alone becomes a source of calm for those around you. In a world filled with fear, be a presence of love. In a world filled with division, be a presence of unity. In a world that rushes, be the one who moves with grace. The most powerful teachings are not spoken, they are lived. The most powerful transformation happens not through words, but through presence. You do not need to change the whole world. Just be a source of light where you are. A single candle can illuminate the darkness. The journey home. At the end of all seeking, at the end of all questions, you will find that the answer has always been the same: peace is here. Now, not in the future, not in some distant place, but in this very breath, in this very moment. If you ever feel lost, if the world feels heavy, if the mind fills with doubts, pause. Breathe. Return. The answers you seek are not far. They are not outside of you. They have always been within. You are not separate from peace. You are not separate from love. You are not separate from the divine. All you need